So recently Dying Light 2 came out and it looks absolutely bonkers on how much movement there is now. However, while looking at the new gameplay, something struck me like a bolt of lightning. The grappling hook mechanic. It changed. From the first Dying Light game, the grappling hook worked like a cannon, shooting you directly at whatever you clicked on, defying all laws of God. But now, it is rather momentum based, meaning that instead of being a simple ba-boom movement, it now allows for more variety to mix things up, carrying over into other movements. That's way more fun. The newer system is, as expected, an improvement over the older type, and the swinging momentum is stupid fun. But then, it hit me again. Another bolt of lightning. Movement in gaming. Grappling hooks in gaming. Grappling hooks are becoming the next double jump, as in any freaking game I get into, it has some sort of like hook shot. Sekiro, Apex, Halo, Doom, Dying Light, Battlefield 2042. Apparently, I didn't even know that game had it. Too bad the game blows. Oh well. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. Remember that time when FPS games were all going parkour mode, pulling off wall running and shit? Remember Brink? Yeah, you remember Brink? Those long rat-faced French dudes? Yeah, that game. And sorry if you're French, if you're watching from France, excusez-moi français. But it looks like we've been in another wave, the wave of grappling hooks. But are grappling hooks that easy to create as a simple double jump? Of course not. It looks simple, yes, but simply putting a hook shot in a game is not gonna cut it. Some games have it and it feels boring, while in other games it feels like it's a masterpiece. It is not just the tool itself, but a whole bunch of other variables to consider. Now, grappling hooks are what I like to call movement tools rather than movement abilities. These would be the things that are more manual in control rather than letting it happen in a way. I suppose an ability would be the simple double jump, the sliding, wall running, yada yada, the things your body can do directly, when rather a movement tool could be along the lines of, I don't know, perhaps like a rocket jumping, pulling out a zip line, and yes, grappling hooks, the things that you'd rely on some sort of tool to do. And within games, there's a grounded sense of, oh yeah, that makes sense, when it comes to these tools. Well, at least to some degree, right? There's gotta be a level of quote-unquote realism when moving around faster. Can Uncharted have a teleport gun? Can Dying Light have a Reaper teleport ability? Fucking no, dude, of course not. That's too random. Grappling hooks, however, it just makes more sense in a lot of cases. Huh? You can use a hoverboard and a flying witch's broomstick in Dying Light 2. Oh. You know what? Hey, remember when I said realism? I stand corrected. Who cares anymore? Moving on. To further bolster my stance on the matter, let me get a little scholarly here, okay? Take a seat, okay? Pay attention. You're gonna learn something. Us humans are nothing without our tools. We are wired to use tools wherever we go, whether it be in real life or in fiction. To weapons, to gadgets, tools have evolved alongside with us. When we use tools, our brains don't register it like a foreign object. We don't detach ourselves from it, but rather we attach to it like an extension of our body or our hands. That's why we could project our hitbox, if you will, onto the tools. But anywho, back to the video, grappling hooks can be a movement tool, yes, but at the same time, they can have multiple uses, like pulling in enemies or grabbing an object from a far spot, making us connect to the tool very deeply, changing the meta on how a game can be played, turning it from rehashed gameplay to a breath of fresh air.
Grapple hook also gives Master Chief's mobility a big kick in the ass. The grapple hook is the saving grace of Halo Infinite and the biggest mechanical innovation ever introduced to the series.
But if it's so good, why not slap it onto every game and call it a day? Sadly, it isn't as easy as that. Why is it that in Dying Light 2, the grappling hook feels more fun than the first game's version? To go further in, when you break it down, it comes up to mostly two big ideas: momentum and usability. Some games zip you at a force where your spleen would explode, while others do it gently and take you on a ballerina twirl. And some games have limitations on it. let me start off on the topic of momentum. With a little quiz here, what would be more efficient? A gun where you can teleport to wherever you're pointing at in a blink of an eye, or having a grappling hook and swinging your way over? Obviously, the teleport covers more miles, it's more efficient. However, which one is more fun? With teleporting, there isn't any engagement involved in the action, tearing movement controls down to pressing a single button. The magic goes away after a while, and in the end, it becomes like the teleport option in VR. But with a grappling hook, it's gonna keep your brain moving, and there are ways to incorporate that with other moves. And if they got that wind sound effect, that blowing in your ear, you got the speed marks, the motion blur around your screen border. Oh my god, that is great. I think that additional part, the wind sound effect, the whooshing thingy, I like to believe the primitive monkey part of our brain gets pleased during this occasion. And every time you feel that momentum, it goes and pumps a gallon of serotonin out in our cortex. And maybe this is why the grappling hooks that zoom your spinal cord in half get old as fast as they are. There's no chance to savor the weight of the whooshing and the swinging and acceleration and the fucking those fail to realize that it isn't really about the speed, but rather the feeling of getting speed. I'm gonna bring up a game that is pretty much this the whole way through. Take notes from the newer Spider-Man games. Why do you think playing Spider-Man is fun? Why do you think swinging around is fun? The dude is just swinging around, but it feels so good because it has that momentum, that acceleration and web swinging. It's giving bananas to that monkey part of our brain. Another part of selling this momentum to our monkey brains comes down to the animation. And here you can see Spider-Man just lunging upwards, using that force to push through and break into the next swing. We're gonna call that feeling the Spider-Man effect. Even though it's really acceleration, like a law of gravity, like a law of Newton, call it that, okay? If a game has a grappling hook and doesn't have that Spider-Man effect, wrong answer, man. Retake the course over summer, okay? That's what separated Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 2. While the second grappling hook isn't zipping you like the first one, I'm pretty sure a lot of people like the feeling of that acceleration instead. But it isn't just that, right? Now that I covered the Spider-Man effect, we gotta focus on usability here. A game like Ultra Kill, fucking my new favorite game, the grappling hook is instant, not having a long cooldown. You feel the weight when you're either pulling in a light enemy or pulling towards a heavy one. And while all of this is happening, you still have the freedom to air strafe, dash left and right, and have your right hand free to shoot your weapon. This is a perfect example of how this movement tool should be used for an arrangement of actions to coexist, not being something that inhibits you from doing another action, but rather a supplement on what more things you can do now. It's understandable if there's a cooldown when if it's PvP like Widowmaker and Overwatch or Pathfinder and Apex. I get it then, that would just get out of hand. But when it's in PvE, dude. Warning, I'm going to talk some shit on Doom Eternal, and it may sound like I hate on it, but believe me, I enjoy playing it, okay? It's one of my favorite games. Now back to the video. This game sucks my dick, dude. The grappling hook is stuck to one weapon, which is my favorite coincidentally, but you run out of ammo so fast and you're forced to be a monkey doing a routine of switching weapons in and out. As much as I like it, I can't use the meat hook as much as I like to. Oh yeah, another thing, it only grabs at enemies, meaning that I can't use it to travel to, snap on a wall and have aerial battles. And you know what, that's fine. If that's the game's intention, so be it. But what does the game offer for an alternative? They get monkey bars. Monkey bars. Okay, they are so lame. These things are so lame that I actively avoid them during heated battles because the minute I'm stuck on it, I can't do shit. I know it sounds like a me problem, and you know what? You're absolutely right. It truly is a personal pet peeve. But man, I feel like the moments where you have to jump and dash to the same white wall texture for the 100th time, it feels kind of gets old. These dumb filibuster moments of dash to the white wall and climb your fat doom ass really contrast the high-paced crack energy of killing a gang of demons. I'd rather much skip that as much as I'd like to with a simple grappling hook mod on the suit, kind of like in Halo Infinite. Just climb over the wall. Please. I don't want to do these moments of dashing and climbing slowly and then jump across and dash to another one. Dude, make it quicker, wrap it up. I understand that the game doesn't focus on it a lot, and that it'd rather have it on one weapon, to limit it to one weapon, really. But to give an example where the grappling hook is not the main focus but still nails it down, I like to pull up on Sekiro. In Sekiro, it isn't used that much for combat, only coming up as prompts at specific moments, mostly being used for transportation. However, there's never a forced cooldown when using it. When you want to use it, you'll use it. It's as easy as that, and you have the ability to attack during it. Not just that, but it serves more as a means to connect to the beautiful, detailed environment, making the mundane action of traveling upward as an engaging experience. I suppose the only critique I can give is the game not putting a bit more into it for combat uses, but the developer's intention on how to fight is mostly for katana and prosthetic tools, and it makes it clear of that from the get-go, which, hey, that's fine by me. There's a feeling of momentum and the usability isn't limited. In my book, they passed the class on what makes it feel good. And now here's the key difference between Sekiro and Doom Eternal. One allows you to use it whenever you want to, as you please, while the other one forces you to use it scarcely in a way, and substitute going up with climbing a white wall. Again, it's just lame, dude. It's just lame. When you have other games like Ultra Kill nailing it down perfectly on what makes it fun, why would I not prefer to play that instead? While grappling hooks may be the new double jump, it isn't easy to get the feeling. The feeling is so important. Double jumps, it's just like, oh dude, you just fucking press the spacebar twice. Boom. Easy as that. Grappling hooks is like getting the whole experience down, which is such a delicate equation of a ton of small details adding up, not just the tool itself. It's hard. It's so hard, I get it. It's easier said than done. I just wanted to bring it up more to my audience, really. And honestly, if you have a thought about it or something in perspective of it, please leave it in a comment. I genuinely want to hear from other people on what makes it or breaks it for them when it comes to something like the grappling hook. I'd like to think I covered everything on what makes the experience perfect, but I can only know so much. People can argue that grappling hooks don't need to be in every game, and you know what, that is fair enough, but at the same time, those movements like dashing, the sliding, wall running, those movements, it's the new standard of movements in the game, and I believe grappling hooks is gonna become something like that. I want to bring up Brink again. Brink wanted that fast-paced gaming with the wall running and stuff and still failed, but they had the right idea down. Brink fell so that Titanfall could fly, or in this case, wall run. And I have faith in the future of our new pal, the grappling hook. Games can shoot their shot in how they want to get that lightning in a bottle, that hook on the ledge right. And I have a good feeling we're in the phase now where game devs are picking up on what works and what doesn't. And maybe in the next Doom they'll get it right. Or maybe I'm gonna be fucking frustrated again on the small details like that. I don't know. Maybe. Most likely I'm gonna just get pissed off again. But for now, I'm playing the fun games. Because if AAA games can't get it down right, leave it to indie devs to know what fun gameplay actually is. Thanks for watching. Till next time.